Good afternoon. I almost said good morning. It is so not morning. My name is Mighty Stream, and I am so happy to be with you today. I wanted to get right into the Just for Today for the 18th. So, at least if you're an individual that covers their Just for Today meditation or any other meditation after work, this will be something that will be accessible to you. It is about for something in the afternoon standard Eastern time. I've had a beautiful day. I've had a challenging day, but I do want to say my day was beautiful nonetheless. The challenges that came my way were met with success. And I think it was because of my attitude about the challenges, right? And I was able to take a look at how my God has been able to bring me through each and every challenge of my life. And I thought to myself today is no different than all those other days, all those other months, all those other years, all those other decades of situations that he brought me through. And so I just wanted to let you know today was a beautiful day to me, for me. And I apologize that I'm not able to be with you earlier today. But like I said, hopefully, if you're a person that believes in coming home, debriefing, and unwinding with exercise and meditation, that this will be something you can add to your day. And probably at some point in time, I will go ahead and do tomorrow's Just for Today meditation tonight. I want to do that because that international online meeting of Narcotics Anonymous that I told you about is having their 2-year anniversary celebration beginning at midnight, Saturday morning, beginning at midnight, Standard Eastern Time. And it's every hour, every other hour, I believe, we're going to have speakers. I want to say every hour. We have so many speakers lined up for the full 24 hours. We're going to be celebrating with our recovering brothers and sisters from all over the world. And so I just want to encourage you to get onto that Zoom platform meeting sometime tomorrow and just enjoy it. I will be co-hosting and hosting around noon. I have to double check that time, but there's 2 hours during the afternoon that I will be co-hosting and hosting. I am coming to you with the Hood Recovery Services, Hope Offered on Demand. This is an initiative of Hope through Navigation. My email is recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. At some point in time, you'll be able to see it. It is directly behind me. And again, that is recovery of hope 21 at gmail.com. Again, if we haven't met, my name is Mighty Stream. Let's get into the Just for Today for the 18th. And what is this? I think that's Grammarly trying to help me. Okay, so this is what it says March 18th, the full message. There is a special feeling for addicts when they discover that there are other people who share their difficulties, past and present. Basic text, page 55 through 56. The wealth of our recovery is too good to keep to ourselves. Some of us believe that when we talk in meetings, we should remember the newcomer and always try and carry a positive message. But sometimes the positive message we can carry is that we are going through difficult times in our recovery and are staying clean in spite of them. Yes, it's gratifying to send out a strong message of hope to our newer members. After all, no one likes a whiner. But distressing things happen, and life on life's terms can send shockwaves even through the recovery of longtime members of Narcotics Anonymous. If we are equipped with the tools of the program, we can walk through such turmoil and stay clean to tell the tale. Recovery doesn't happen all at once. It is an ongoing process, sometimes a struggle. When we dilute the fullness of our message by neglecting to share about the tough times we may walk through on our journey, uh, neglecting to share about the tough times we may walk through on our journey, we fail to allow newcomers the chance to see that they too can stay clean no matter what. If we share the full message of our recovery, we may not know who benefits, but we can be sure someone will. Here's the just for today. Just for today, I will honestly share both the good times and the difficult times of my recovery. I will remember that my experience in walking through adversity may benefit another member. So we're talking about being able to share our full message and not neglecting to share the negative things that we go through and that we manage, right? Let's catch on to that we manage with the principles of this program, with the spiritual principles of this program. Anything that comes our way, we have great potential to come through even the good times and the bad times, right? Um, Without picking up a drug, coming through it successfully. And so this reading today is suggesting that we share the things that we go through, right? That we share the fullness of our recovery. And there's always there's this underlining thought. Sometimes I think that, as it said in the reading, that we need to share just the positive things and reach the newcomer. And sometimes the newcomer, they can't really even get in tune or in touch with those positive things at the moment because they're too new, right? Their life is still full of the chaos that was created as a direct result of their using. And so sometimes some of the things that we call plush problems, right? Sometimes, or silver spoon issues. Sometimes when we share the issues that we're facing after we've been clean for a while and we've been in recovery for a while, there's a disconnect between the newcomer and ourselves because they're not in that moment able to relate to that. That's like, why are you even sharing that your flight ticket to Paris got canceled and you were hoping to see your best friend, and here I am looking at facing losing my children because I used and neglected them. See, there's a disconnect. And although we should not avoid sharing exactly where we're at, whatever that is, however plush it may sound to someone else, we should never, right? We should never stay silent when something is affecting us in a way where we may actually pick up a behavior or a drug, right? Or act out in some kind of way that is detrimental to ourselves and others. So that's not what we're saying here. We're actually saying that even though the newcomer may not be able to relate, right, to the good things that we're going through, maybe they can relate to some of the negative things we're going through. And maybe being seasoned and having been in recovery for a while, we'll be able to word things in a way where we bring clarity to how the spiritual principles were applicable to that issue. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, the spiritual principles attached to those, and allow the person that has a desire to listen to whatever we're sharing, or I would say the disposition to listen to whatever we're sharing, allow them to see what the solution is. I personally believe that even though I may share my issue, I also need to share what I believe is the solution. I try never to end my share negatively on a bad note. I'm not really a person that invites cross sharing, and I'm not a person that gives cross sharing, right? So I try to share what I'm dealing with and share the solution that I have thus far up until that point. I can only do my best, right? I can only share what I actually um, have come up with as the solution. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it doesn't always work out to be advantageous, but at least I'm sharing with the view and the mind towards carrying the message to the addict that is still suffering. And so I want to encourage you today that the next meeting you go to, Mighty Stream would like to see you actually share, right? Some of that harder stuff. Now, if you are a person where your technique of sharing leaves a little to be desired, right? Maybe you're very vicious or violent in how you share, right? Um that's not what I'm encouraging. Just because a person can yell and shout and cuss, right, like a sailor when they're sharing, doesn't mean that there is a powerful message in what they're saying. It doesn't mean, I should say, it doesn't mean that it will be more impactful because a person can raise their voice. I have a very loud voice. I have a very loud voice. And when I get into sharing, right, when I'm speaking, I don't need a microphone. I can say exactly what I'm trying to say without a microphone. But I remember this one time, this brother who was on the call it a circuit, right? In the late 90s and early 2000s. And I remember him coming up to me after I had just shared, and he said, wow, I've heard a lot of people take the mic and scream their way the whole way through. He said, and most of the time when I listen to that, I don't get anything from that. There's no substance. They're just angry. He said, but with you, what I could tell is that you have really processed some of those stories that you've shared. Like you're emotionally clean now in relationship to those stories. And even though you have a booming voice, that voice is like it's shaking something loose in the person that is listening. Like it leaves them undone because there's substance in what you're sharing. And I just needed to let you know that that was so refreshing. So is it like that all the time? Absolutely not. But I do want to say that it can be. And I want to challenge you to share at your very next meeting. I want you to be able to share exactly where you're at and how that is feeling. Whatever, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through child issues, you're dealing with your children being rebellious, you lost your job, maybe you've lost someone that has had COVID, um, or maybe you're sick yourself, or maybe you've got a bad diagnosis yourself or your loved one has. I would challenge you to be able to share exactly where you're at in a way that brings the solution with it so that they can see, people that are listening can understand and see, not only are you also going through it in case they thought you didn't have problems, but you have the solution and you're working your program. We need to do that. And so I just want to encourage you today to share and share honestly and share productively. Family, my name is Mighty Stream. I'm so glad to be with you today. Take care. See you tomorrow.